play up to your own standards, then you should be able to just completely pick apart and dissect GT. Unfortunately, if you get drawn to the chaos, and I think of all the teams, you said it yourself, Frosk, LGD will match you if you go for that type of game, and you don't want to play GT's game because they were born, you know, they were
molded
born,
by it.
You may have adopted the chaos, but we were molded by it. So you can't win. You can't win against Bane GT. Either way, we're into pick to balance game number 2.
Don't start me with the Batman analogies.
We'll go there. We'll go hard, my friend. But let's get into these picks and bans. We only have the bans so far, but we have LeBlanc and Jace, and we have Gragas and Karma from GT.
I already want to flag this. You know, we talked about LGD. They're on blue side this time around. They don't need to be pressured into those red side bans of the LeBlanc and the Jace. They can choose to target ban, you know, one of these strong points out from GT, and already there's 0 adaptation. They ban away the Jace. They ban away the LeBlanc. So that's a single adaptation. So where is their priority then?
But again, that's not the problem. It's like we sub in aiming, it's just like, nope, that's not solved. We ban these up. Nope, that's not solved either.
But then there's the flip. You know, maybe LGD are like, they beat us on Kled. Like, are we going to let this be a problem? No. Give him Kled. It's not that important of a champion within, like, what the global meta is. Yeah. So just... that's not an answer. But
sometimes you just have a tilt champion. Everyone has it. It can be a champion that doesn't make any sense. Like you play against
Cassiopeia excuse.
Yeah, like a Cassiopeia, or you play against Atrox, and you just cannot play against that champion. Just ban it away. Just get it off the table.
Did you say Atrox?
Atrox, yeah, that's a champion.
Like Aatrox?
Aatrox. It's the same thing. Atrox.
Okay,
Aatrox.
rookie.
Aatrox. Aatrox would be like 1A. Atrox would be 2As.
He's got okay.
Pretty sure that's not in the English language. Regardless, Syndra was the final ban against LGD, and Caitlyn was the first pick from LGD. So I actually really like that. Give Imp a priority pick.
Yeah, but of all of your priority picks and of all of the champions left, this is what gets LGD into trouble, is that they kind of have their own draft meta where they just try to empower their pieces.
Yeah.
See, even something like Graves, I think, is a better priority pick. Luckily, they get it in second rotation, but against a better team, if you priority pick Caitlyn, they're gonna punch you in the face. They're gonna be like, Ash Karma, come at us.
True. It would have been nice if they also paired it up with the bans following the same suit, right? Like they picked to empower the team, but they also banned to empower the team instead of just going meta. Regardless, Ryze and Malzahar picked up for GT, so again, 2 really strong picks. Graves and Lulu. So both teams are essentially getting the pick of the litter.
Yeah, and I like the fact that Svoki went back to the Malzahar. It pairs really well with Jhin. And in response to that, of course, then you have the soft counter in the Lulu. I guess maybe Lulu can be considered the hard counter into Malzahar.
So instantly deleting avoidings is massive.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I'm a big fan of Graves. I wish more teams would look towards Graves. I think he is the overpowered jungler on this patch. I just think he's absolutely disgusting, especially into the likes of Kha'Zix and Rengar. And that's what I feel like really puts Graves over the top. It's just his individual 1v1 matchups, how quickly he's jungling, his absurd power spikes when he gets strong in the game. He seems to hit perfect with everyone else. Never really has a lull moment. Like, he's strong early game, he's great mid game, and he can siege up towers and be disgusting late game. Like, Graves, please, stop.
Yeah, he's just good. On the opposite side, Jhin also picked up for the ADC, so West will be on that champion. Saw great performances from him yesterday. They finally fell for it. They finally locked it in. There's the Kled ban from LGD towards Gimgoon. So they won't let him get that pick this game. And Orianna aimed at Godfeast. So similar trend to last game where they banned away Syndra and Orianna.
So maybe trying to carve Godfrey back into that Corki versus Ryze matchup. It did trip up Republic early on. We talked about, you know, the fact that Corki can really stop Ryze from getting push priority and getting an early back, depending on how he plays the lane. But Republic came back with the quadra kill. Had the last laugh.
Oh yeah, he absolutely did. And he's got his hands on Ryze once again. So it's really, where did the problem stem from? Was it Gimgoon? Was it Republic? Was it both? Well, at least you're taking 50% of the problem away. And Maokai as well aimed towards Gimgoon, so they're really trying to put him on a less impactful pick. Oh, Camille's open. Yep, okay.
And your expert top lane opinion, is that a less impactful pick?
I think this is an extremely impactful pick. We haven't seen it yet from Gimgoon, I don't believe. So I guess that will be in a test by itself. But look at that, 69% win rate. The champion's good. Why is this left open? You ban away Kled. Okay, makes a lot of sense. Follow that up with a Camille ban. Don't follow it up with Maokai.
To be fair, I like Maokai better than Camille. Just 'cause
I
again,
don't.
I'm
Game Goon's going to go off on Camille. Mark my words for us, Guren. We're going to see him go 5-0.
But this is the thing. Theoretically, then, Camille would demand resources to get snowballed. So while the enemy team is throwing all of their resources top lane to make sure that Camille is okay, just throw all your resources bottom lane. Don't even mess with her. Just leave her alone. Let her do her thing. And you got Renekton. Renekton's a counter.
You know, the key word you said there was theoretically. And against GT, the word theoretically does not apply, because regardless of how you go in, planning out how the game's going to go, GT will do something, or you'll slip up once and GT will take the game from you. Let's see how it goes. Renekton picked up against it. A great answer to Camille, of course. There were a lot of answers to Camille still up, so maybe it was a bit of a trap card set up by LGD. We just have to see the execution in game. Godfrey will get his hands on Echo, while GT are looking towards the jungler.
So the cool thing about Renekton into Camille is that Renekton, A, is a resource-baseless champion. He runs on Fury, so anytime you need mana to trade with him, inherently he will win over a long period of time. Likewise, he gets push, sustain, and damage all on one ability. It's his Call of the Meek, his Q, which means that Camille, she kind of has different options here. It's kind of like, does she put her points into W to try to compete with the pushing power as well as the sustain? Does she put her points into E and try to get around the map a little bit more, get more safety in the lane? It really depends on how the early levels trade out to where she puts the flexibility and how she builds out her points and builds out her strategy into the lane. That said, there's also the big difference that Renekton will fall off really hard if he doesn't get a snowball, whereas Camille can really ramp into late game and be a bit unstoppable in terms of just deleting someone outright.
Especially if all of the gold goes onto one person, Game Goon's going to jump on your face with Camille, and then you get blasted by Xiaoyu and Republic, and probably West as well from downtown with his ultimate. So got to be wary of that, but we do have our full compositions locked in here. I think a lot was interesting about that champion select. It's like, do they have to ban Declared here? They don't do it on first rotation. They prioritize their Caitlyn of all things.
But look at how much more vocal GT's coach was there, you know, gave him the good 1-2 clap, like, let's go, guys, you know how to. And if you look at their comp, Camille, Elise, Ryze, Jhin, I'm going to pick out Camille, Ryze, and Jhin as kind of the core of the composition. If you are ever out of position, they will find you, like, full taken on you. Like, you'll just be deleted from 4 screens away.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the fact that they have the chasing potential as well. It's a very similar composition to Game 1 in the sense that if you're caught out of position, not only will you die, but your team's going to die as well. Like, it's going to be collateral damage. Like, multiple people will die from someone getting caught out.
Whereas on the other side for LGD, you know, they did pick a bit more for their 1v1 individual matchups, you know, maybe seeing that game talents are trying to hold us more into our 1v1s and our 2v2s, so let's find the counter picks or the strong picks where we find appropriate and try to match them there, which I think is the wrong strategy against game talents, but LGD certainly have the star power to brute force victories this way, and if that's the way they want to play it, who am I to judge?
Sorry for just cutting myself off abruptly there, Frosk. I was really confused by the zoom in of the coffee cup. I was like, what is the... Oh, it's... why are we looking at this?
It's the logo.
Yeah, it is the logo on the coffee cup. Fantastic. Game 2, LGD up against GT coming into this best of 3. The first one of the day. I probably misnamed it in saying this is the warm-up game. This is the waiting room for our title match of the day. This has been a very entertaining waiting room. This has been like, I don't know what's on the TV in this waiting room, but it's been exciting. So GT, one game up against LGD. See if they can take it to game 3. But GT, they are very close to picking up a game 2 win. And I think of all the chances they have had so far to get that 2-0, this is probably one of the best that they've gonna get and have done so far.
Yeah, very similar composition to kind of what led them to victory in game number 1. And again, it's that ability to chase and to run down. Camille has great pick potential with her E and how you know, how far away she can find you. Ryze with his Realm Warp, as well as the fact that he went Storm Raiders, will be able to run people down or run in and out of team fights really well. And then the Jhin ultimate. As soon as these tower falls down, if he ever gets vision on where he is, he's going to open that up and try to catch you out. So watch how GT use these 3 champions to sculpt out 3v3s, 2v2s instead of the big 5v5s. Or if they get ahead, that composition is also terrifying in a 5v5.
Amy getting that assistance in the jungle there. of Godby coming out there as well. It's really nice to get that early level 2, and you can get it just off the little raptors, so he'll immediately head into the jungle.
Yeah, and should be flagged that Xiaoyu did start his blue buff. It's now caught out by Amy there, so good heads-up awareness. And the thing is this gives Elise a straight ganking path towards the top side of the map. So if you wanted to snowball that Camille, you definitely had the jungle start to do so. And now Funny should be heads up, you know. Elise started bottom, she could be top lane. Let's play this a bit slower, and immediately he lets Camille neutralize and start pushing the lane in.
And for you top laners out there, if you know that the enemy jungle is starting on the bottom side, then play defensive at around the 3-minute mark to around 3:30, because that's when most junglers will head up to the top lane. As soon as Xiaoyu will finish up his red buff, he'll wander up to the top lane. But he may look towards the crab as well and just allow Gimgoon to get into this 1v1, because Gimgoon, you can see here, is pushing up. So he can't gank the lane, but he can also provide coverage. So that's really all he needs, because Amy could also be up there as well.
The adaptation then is, you know, what does Xiaoyu do with his time? If there's not an available gank top lane, does he look to contest Scuttle? Even if he had done his Raptors a little bit faster, he technically had 2 buffs before Graves had 1, because Amy spent the extra time to place the ward on blue. Now, Xiaohu didn't know that, but if they did, he also even could have contested the blue buff from Graves. Instead, it looks like it's going to be mid lane.
He's going to give mid lane a try, yeah. Godby, he's locked up, Rune Prison. Nice CC layering, and that's just so perfect from GT. First blood to Xiaoyu.
Classic Godby. Now, technically, he feels like he's standing on the strong side of his map because his Graves is over there.
Yeah.
But he knows that the enemy jungler is also there because they had the ward and the blue buff, so they know where Elise started. So just either poor communication between Amy and Godby, or Godby just straight up not paying attention. His teleport's been burned. If I'm Elise, I'm like, free meal.
Yeah, I'm going back mid lane, boys. And he's exactly going to do that. Turns the corner. Godby sees him. A flash, a cocoon once more into Godby. He'll get the shield up. Amy comes in as well. Lots of damage coming out, but repelled away from. Godby will get away from this, and Republic will have to go back to tower. But that was almost a second kill onto Godby.
And the saving grace is that Godby died so quickly the first time that he still managed to have his flash. Saves his life again as he overextends on a teleport, but Xiaoyu's just on fire so far.
Yeah. For sure in this early game. Amy's going to take this opportunity to go into Xiaoyu's jungle and take away some of his camps, specifically in the form of this Grump. PYR and Imp are pushing up in the bottom lane. They have the slight priority over Jin and Malzahar right now, as this is the winning lane, but Imp is taking a lot of damage. He'll jump back. West is looking to punish, and that'll be the instant exhaust out from PYL. Imp just simply overstepped.
And interesting that Wes playing a bit cautious there when he had 4th shot coming around. Maybe either thinking that the jungler was going to come out of the brush, but he could have stepped forward and layered a bit more trade damages again mid lane.
Oh, the cocoon goes wide. This time, what Godby is getting camped, and for good reason, you know. A lot of times, laners and solo queues just like, man, this jungler, can't you just 1v1? It was like, yeah, you're overextending constantly. You're doing a Godby. Like, you're making it easy for me. You have no summoners, so why not go for the mid lane once more?
Godby, also a bit of an emotional player. We've seen things like this kind of get to him in the past. We'll see if he can correct himself, stay on the right path.
Sorry, I was just listening to Jin. I like listening to the Mandarin voice lines. But West, yeah, he didn't go in for that 4th shot before, and he didn't get that one right there. Because often when you see him just step up and be so aggressive, it's like, surely the jungler must be here. There's no reason for him to be this far up without PYL supporting. So, what happened in the bottom lane, but he goes back to base while Savoki keeps himself in lane. And West has immediately gone for those tier 3 boots with that longsword. On the other side, Imp has straight up just got the BF sword, so he's in a pretty good situation himself. I'm looking towards the top lane though, where Gimgoon is almost 20 CS behind Funny. He's been doing really well in this matchup.
And we see this globally. Again, Renekton being picked in. I think it was Marn that really started this one. Of course, he's the big...
Shocker.
He's the big Renekton player himself. I know exactly, right? I want to see where Camille's putting her points. So, because
probably W.
Classically, we see that Renekton's putting all of his points in Call the Meek again. He gets Sustain, he expends Fury for it, so he's not trading mana. He gets Pushing Power, and that's really what kind of puts him over the edge in terms of the trade patterns against Camille. And like you said, I expect it would be in W just so she can keep up with his pushing power as well as his sustain. But she's trading mana, so over the course of the lane, she inherently loses.
Loses the war of attrition, indeed. Gimgoon is level 6 though. And of all the ultimates, Gimgoon's ultimate is pretty good against Dominus, as it is percent damage.
Yeah, and this is the other cool thing about Renekton, is that since health stats are so cost efficient right now, like everyone's talking about armor, it's, you know, you changed all the AD and lethality items. Of course, 7.3 changed a little bit in the conversation. But his ultimate scales with health. And so he is so much more cost efficient than other tanks at getting tankier because he doesn't have to purchase the health. He can just go straight for the armor and get the best of both worlds.
Going towards Amy in this mid lane. Godby will snap back with the Chrono Break to get 50 health back. And Republic will be like, alright mate, I'm going to carry on farming mid lane. Cool.
Gank me again.
Yeah, Godfrey's definitely a little bit tilted in the mid lane for sure. Xiao Yu's going to be spotted out. That was a really nice timing on that ward from Amy. So he'll find him here.
But this is a 2v2 that LGD inherently don't want because Godby doesn't have his ultimate. He doesn't have the level advantage on Republic. Exactly, so Xiaoyu and Republic are just going to continue to exploit mid lane and bleed it over into the jungle. And now West and Savoki also getting involved.
Oh, Xiaoyu just took away red from Amy. I mean, there's no contesting that. He's level 6 as well. Amy, no collateral damage. He knows he can't contest. And actually, the fact that GT were pushed up river means that they will have the priority if they needed to go over there. So the stars aligned for GT, and he takes away red.
Again, and it all bled over from mid lane. Republic is just punishing Godby repeatedly, and now it's starting to leak over into Amy's lanes.
I like the word leak.
Leak.
Yeah.
Bleed.
Leaking over.
Saturate.
Gimgoon is still in the top lane. He's still down in farm. But I wonder where he'll go, actually. He's gone double giant, but he's got a fair amount of gold under his bags. So we'll see what he does with that one. Because we saw Sunfire Cape actually into Renekton last time, and that was okay, but it meant that he didn't really do anything in mid-game, so maybe he'll just go for the early Triforce.
There's also kind of the different responsibilities that Camille and Renekton both have in a 5v5. Camille, you know, kind of isolating different targets or even just trading her life or just bursting someone out, whereas Renekton's a bit more of that classic disruption tank. The issue is that it's much harder for Renekton, or he's much more dependent on his teleport, to get in position to be that disruptive tank in a 5v5, whereas Camille can just get that naturally from her E.
Yeah. Very, very true. Savoki will move up to the mid lane. He'll start clearing out wards as well. There's a lot of pressure happening in the bot side. Gimgoon trading off against Funny. I'm not really sure why he decided to stay, as Funny got his full combo off and he didn't respond with anything. So it doesn't seem like Gimgoon is that adept on this champion.
I mean, it's always banned.
It's always banned, and like the few times that I've seen his trades, like he's not trading efficiently, where we've seen a lot of Camille plays get over the fact they're in a losing matchup because Camille is so adaptive with the many ways that she can respond to these item builds, but Gimgoon hasn't been able to do it so far.
That said, though, both Republic and Xiaoyu are kind of hunting around in this river. Now, Amy is also up top lane, but this is still kind of 2v3 at best. Possibly a 3v1 as Amy's
thinking about the recall.
Back.
Yeah. Well, we have Realm Warp available, and Republic is setting
They're going in.
Xiaoyu for him. Oh, he's lining up the teleport. Funny jumps in. Gimgoon may drop before help arrives. Here comes the TP as well. Gimgoon still alive. Funny dropping low on top of that. Has the dominance running. Godby comes into this fight. It's 3 versus 2 once more. Xiaoyu has to abandon Republic. He doesn't get the kill onto Funny, and Funny comes out on top. 2 kills to the Crocodile. Bot lane trading up. PYO has to use his ultimate, but he's chased after by West. Now he's under attack by Im. He'll sidestep the deadly flourish. Savoki under attack as well. Flash forward, headshot for the kill. Weston is 1 versus 1, and Imp comes out ahead and kills both of them. Double kill to the bot lane, double kill to Funny.
Across the map, LGD come up huge right now. Now Gimgoon trying to get back in on the teleport. Xiaoyu is behind him.
That was not a great TP. 3 members still there. Good tactical sweep. Xiaoyu still underneath the tower. Repel comes up. They're not low enough. All the hell back with the Chrono Break, and Xiaoyu will fall as well. Another kill to Funny. 4 kills to Renekton.
4 kills at 10 minutes, as well as, I think, possibly 2 towers here. Taking a look at bottom. Yeah, this is lights out.
Man, that's sad. All this happened in the last, like, 2 minutes as well, where LGD have basically just gotten the game. And GT, like, they just needed to play slower.
Okay. I'm sure we'll get the replay. It's always that analyst, like, do I go into it before the replay, or do I wait for the replay?
Yeah.
We're just
I
gonna
like
go.
to think we're gonna get one. Yeah, it's actually gonna be bot lane though.
Oh, but this is cool too. So PYL is actually going to ult himself to survive kind of this initial skirmish. Savoki taking a lot of damage. But what's important here is to watch that Imp manages to get the Caliber net on Malzahar. There he goes, and then he's going to flash forward for the last of the auto. Will now Q here after the auto, so in between the orb walking, and picks up the double kill. So like, just the perfect point about when he's using his E, when he's using his Q, that allows him to pick up that double kill there.
Just great mechanics straight up from Imp, and that double kill in the bottom lane, plus the 4 kills to Funny. I actually can't believe that GT just TP back in just to die once more, and Funny is gigantic.
And that's never where you want the Renekton. And again, game talents, they technically had the early numbers advantage. The teleport was delayed coming in from Godby, but it's Renekton, king of the 2v1s. And why is he that? It's because he gets the free health from his ultimate. He just gets so tanky without having to invest the gold into it early.
Here comes the collapse though. Amy being a little too aggressive, and the ultimatum keeps him in place. Savoki locking down PYL, looking for the double here. Gimgoon takes one. Funny coming down. The big crocodile. Can he make this work? Lining up the shot. Didn't find it. Imp was there to protect him. 1 kill to GT.
But they do have inside track on mid tower, so could look to still get something. Looks like they're actually going to back off.
So for now, GT just pick up that 1 kill. Very GT fashion, where they'll look for the kill, but aren't really able to take any objectives off it because they don't necessarily have the setup. And Imp is quite big. He's got the Runans and a BF sword, so he's a pretty happy camper. That's all he really needs at this stage in the game to deal damage.
And the pushing priority on both Caitlyn and Renekton is massive right now, as Godby now looking 1v1.
Oh, he's going on to Republic, and Republic's still pretty big, but he is getting the best of him for now. Still has the Chrono Break, lining up the stun, gets the shield, sidesteps the Time Winder, still chasing after Republic, drops him low. He has the Chrono Break, has to back off. Republic has the advantage. He's chasing after. Realm Walk comes in. Xiaoyu following after as well. Time Walk lands onto one. He will back away with the flash. Godby low. Repel comes after. Finishes him off. Venomous bite. Xiaoyu wins the trade.
And classic Godby tries to step up for the 1v1, but Republic doing such a good job making sure that he's not only tracking Echo's skill shots, but his ultimate.
Dominus pop by Funny. He's looking for the tower dive. Savoki, he's under attack. There's no getting away from him. Imp comes in and chimes in for the assist, while Xiaoyu coming into the mid lane. Imp caught underneath the tower. Volatile spotting for the kill.
Hold on.
They're going on to West as well. He just dies. One combo from Funny annihilates him under tower, and LGD will convert this.
LGD kind of falling apart at the seams a little bit, dropping Imp because they didn't manage tower aggro appropriately, decided to dive without the creep wave. Good rotation from Xiaoyu, but ultimately, it's 6-0 Renekton.
He's so big in this game. And for now, we have to see if Funny can actually translate this lead and make it work for him, because Funny, he's a decent player, but we haven't seen amazing things from this man just yet. Right now, he's essentially been gifted so many kills, and he has converted that into 2 more as well for himself. So far, doing pretty well. This could be an MVP under his belt.
Yeah, and he's effectively resetting his career from the mid laner, formerly known, the artist formerly known as Punish, to now the top laner, formerly known as Funny. It's nice to see, you know, still kind of more that carry-oriented style versus the true tank. He was the big Twisted Fate player, if people remember him on Unlimited Potential. So now it's kind of Rumble and Renekton that he's sort of to carve out his niche. See if he can pull a Zatai here. Really define himself as a top laner.
True. Zatai back in the mid lane now.
Don't remind me.
Yeah. He had a good talent game, but his team a little too far behind, unfortunately, in that last game. But Imp is big. This is a game that LGD should not lose. Yeah, I say should as the word here, because GT, we've seen them on the back foot before. And then maybe that one crazy Baron play will drag them back in. But LGD played this smart. They should win. 3v1. Can he do it? He's 6-0. He's pretty big. Gimgoon's going to jump on him with a Hextech ultimatum. TP coming in. I think he's dying a little too fast, unfortunately. Teleport. Does not get completed. Yeah, that's not really one that you want to go in for, Godby. We've seen your highlight moments before, and they weren't too hot this game.
But now the question becomes, you know, how do game talents actually get back into this game? Because you said LGD should win. But the problem is that they need to use Funny correctly on the map. And if Renekton is pushed forward while nothing else is happening on the bottom side of his map, like, that's pretty obvious for game talents. Any team can make that call. Let's gank this guy. We'll lose nothing for it and get the shutdown bonus, which is the big key there. Unfortunately, the shutdown bonus went to Xiaoyu.
Yeah, who's already big. He doesn't need more of that feeding. Had it gone to like a Gimgoon or Republic right there, that could have been really, really good for GT.
Would have been a massive turn for GT.
Godvy's pushing down the bottom lane. Republic is on his way with Xiaoyu. You know how this turned out last time on another episode of Godby pushes bot lane. So I want to see him back away. I want to see him not look for the fight. But Amy, PYL, and Imp are here, so this would be a skirmish, not a solo player highlight reel. Funny, going back to the top lane, he knows there's plenty of people down bot lane, so he won't have the same thing happen to him.
The appropriate time to do this.
Yes. Should have just waited a little longer, because for now, Gimgoon cannot 1v1 him still. That's like a 50 CS advantage, 6 kills over his counterpart. He's looking towards his second item, while Gimgoon only on the Triforce.
They should pick up Ripchild right now. You'd expect that this would be put over into Funny, especially if he's going to continue to be that big split pushing threat Renekton, and then set him up. So I would say Ripchild back, grab your items, and then start setting up for Renekton to split push pressure against the Infernal Drake spawn.
Sounds about right. Yeah, over to Funny as well. So yeah, recall, set up for the Infernal Dragon will be coming up in around 3 minutes from now. And GT, while they're not too far behind on kills, they are far behind on gold, looking towards that 5,000 gold advantage. Most of that is on Renekton, to be fair. And you look towards bottom lane as well. It's almost like they were listening to me, and we can see a lot of Imp in the bottom lane against West.
But the problem with all of LGD's goals being on one player is that if Funny ever misplays, or if LGD ever misplay around that power, suddenly they aren't strong. Suddenly they are on the back foot. And GT's composition still scales wonderfully into late game with power like Jhin, like Ryze. So while I have full confidence in LGD, I'm not...
Can I quote you on that, Frosk? Full confidence? Or
You
would you like to...
You have to put the ellipses in there.
Yeah. Would you like an asterisk on that one, perhaps?
There is still hope for the game talent Kled fans.
All right. I have faith that they'll be able to pull something out of the bag. But remember, they picked up game 1, so they can lose this game and they still have another shot in game 3. So it's not even like they lose this game and they're out.
We could have a 20-minute Baron. Who knows?
Yeah, we could. I mean, they've got 90 seconds until it. So I want to see LGD go to the area, place down some wards. Luckily, PYL is there already, so place down a control ward.
He's hunting. He's waiting. He's like, get sneaky Baron on me now.
Yeah, not this time. Amy is also with him, so he's got an escort. I feel like I've seen this play before, almost with the same players, but this time they're going to back away as there are many people from LGD reacting. Amy's going to jump after the Blast Cone,
and reminder, it's also double teleport, so Godby can also get involved with this, although he's doing a good job pushing bottom and rotating mid lane, so we may actually have a 5v5, probably the first one this series.
It's true, yeah, an actual equal 5v5. Well,
no,
there's
no!
learning. No, not like this! No, he gets through prison. There's the ultimate as well. He should be able to get away. Republic's chasing after. Slows him down with the exhaust. No! An auto attack, and it's going to be the Flux actually coming in for the kill. And it was almost looking good for LGD. Godby caught out as well. He's instantly CC'd. Perfect CC layering. Chasing down Funny. He's turning this one around. He knows he has to get a kill. Go Commando. But Gimgoon over the wall rejoins the rest of his team.
But Dominus is going to be up. That's a huge trough for Renekton here. And suddenly Funny's like, I'm no longer a big crocodile. I'm about to turn into a very tiny Geico lizard.
Yep, nope, yep, run. I need to get out. I need out. He's running away into the bot lane. The great escape of Funny. Gimgoon's chasing after. Does he have his ultimate? Yes, he does. Hextech Ultimatum is available, and Hookshot will be coming up any second. He's got the Blast Cone. Here we go. Oh, no. Why is PYL here? No, get away. Run away. Okay, that's fine. Funny, he's still running away. He's got the extra movement speed. He'll get the slice. He has the dice coming. Tactical sweep. PYL has the wild growth. There's more health as well. Gimgoon jumps in. Hextech Ultimatum. Funny is dying so quickly. But 10 damage from Xiaoyu. Godby backing away. This is not the fight that you were looking for. Amy, back away. He's being silenced.
They have
GT,
no mana.
they have the turnaround though. Imp is back from base. He's back from the dead.
You guys have no mana. Just back up. Just go away. Go home.
All right, I think they listened to you, Frost, because GTR are on their way out now.
That was like the lowest speed car chase I've ever seen.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay, finally. Okay, what happened now that the dust has settled? LGD still have the advantage by 4K. That's been evened up a little by GT. But again, we just get this absurd fight again, which LGD, like, there was no reason for that to happen.
And really just searching for shutdown bonuses as well as kind of pocket cold again. I like the fact that GT didn't decide just to immediately turn on Baron when they did actually get control of the area after picking off Imp. Simply because Amy was still alive. So that's actually good from Amy. He made sure that, okay, we lost our AD carry. We're now going to lose our tank. I need to stay alive in case GT try to turn this into another quick 20-minute Baron. And that forced GT's hands a bit into the chase after Renekton. But that said, you know, even if Graves had died there, who knows what GT would have done?
That could have almost been disastrous. And triple Quicksilver stashes have been completed by LGD. And actually, when you look at it, that's pretty much all of the gold advantage they have over GT, like 1.2k gold a pop. Like, that's all of that gold. So if you discount that, they're fairly equal in combat strength.
And now it's kind of like, where are our targets that we actually get to QSS? And it's pretty much PYL or Amy. And you have to do PYL because if you don't, he's just going to Whimsy Malzahar or knock him up and get rid of the ultimate.
Got V. He's into the jungle. It has been revealed, but he's fairly safe. Zhao Yu's taking away the red buff. Does get the steal.
He ult that?
Collateral damage from Amy.
Definitely ulted it.
Got the kill, yeah. Okay, LGD push up the top tower. They will take the inner tower away. Everything so far, so good. LGD are playing safer. They have the vision. They're staying within the areas that they can see. There is a Gimgoon pushing down the bottom lane that someone will have to deal with at some point, but it's only an outer tower, so I don't think LGD will be too unhappy with them taking this one away.
As long as they trade something for it, like you said, having that inner tower, that's fine. But ultimately, anytime you trade with a team that you have an advantage on, you're inherently putting yourself at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
So, like, you shouldn't have to do that. There's no reason that they needed Funny up there to also push the tower. He should have been matching away from Gimgoon. And that seems super nitpicky. It's like, Muscurin, you know, they got the top inner tower. You know, stop being so hard on them. But no, it's LGD. I'm tired of this.
Yeah, especially when we know that these small mistakes can cascade into something really big for GT, and we've seen it time and time again, and we harp on about it, but it's something that you cannot discount.
And it's not even just against GT, it's also against, you know, EDG. It was tiny mistakes that snowballed that series where it basically came down to a best of one. That was the only time that we would see LGD versus EDG unless both teams found each other in the playoffs. And just tiny little things that just need to be tightened up, or LGD will never be that first place team that they used to be.
It's so close. So close to reclaiming some of that former glory. GT are starting to ramp up in strength though. Looking towards the item build. West is double the Falliate items. Mid lane is also 2 items. Bot lane, Tavoki just picked up Rylai's. Ooh, and a pickaxe. Nice.
Buys Rylai's before he has the upgraded Ruby Sightstone, or technically in this, he can't place the 3 wards, but he's like, but I can slow them.
Yeah, he went back to base and was like, wow, I have over 2,000 gold, so I guess I'll just pick up Rylai's. And you have like the pop-up in chat, and it's like, well, I hope no one notices this.
25 minutes, Baron's in play, time to buy Rylai's.
Yeah, perfect opportunity, fantastic. GT are all centralizing around the top lane, they're congregating. Funny, we'll take this time to go back to base. He does have his TP, so I'm not that concerned. But Gimgoon's pushing down the bottom side. He's hook-shotting after this next wave, and he's applying the pressure. And Funny will be able to match him. So.
Yeah, for all Gimgoon struggled in the early game, this Camille is actually quite an obnoxious threat to deal with. Not necessarily in the 1v1. Again, if you get a hold of her, she's still going to be in trouble across from Renekton at this point in the game. But it's going to be much closer than it should be, and likewise, you still have to catch her, and she is impossible to catch right now. So GT now have this kind of extra win condition added to their belt. Distract LGD with Gimgoon, take something else on the map.
If you go later into this game as well, Gimgoon will eventually, yes, there's those 6 kills.
Overwhelm.
Yeah, you will overwhelm Renekton. I mean, it's going to take a long time because of all the gold that Funny has, but it's still something that they have to keep an eye out for. Look towards the top lane as Republic is running down Godby, gets the Rune Prison and a bit of a combo. But Savoki was not looking to commit as there is pressure in the mid lane from LGD, so they are pushing up here. And West is combating this with a little bit of wave clear. Gimgoon is being shoved up by Funny now. But Funny really wants to be in these fights rather than being on babysitting duty against Gimgoon. You know, all this gold that's been centralized, that's like a 3,000 gold advantage that's going to waste in bot lane.
But there's also the good thing that they're constantly keeping game talents. You know, as long as those waves are pushed forward, that means they get control over the Baron area.
Yep.
So while I agree with you that you want your power with you, LGD are kind of reverting back to let's just play the macro game against GT and see where they slip up. See if we can catch them kind of either cheating towards Gimgoon or cheating towards the mid lane, and then try to build an advantage off of that catch.
LGD are starting to regain the advantage that they had earlier on, and all of the Dragon control has gone over to them as well, so it's not like they're in a bad position whatsoever. They're definitely in a strong position. Xiaoyu just jumped into that blast plant. And Republic, he's still pushing up against Godby. We have a small rotation from LGD. They are on their way. They have pinged.
That said, Savoki and Xiaoyu are also sneaking in behind, but good ward catching them out, which kind of diffuses all sorts of play in the top lane. And again, LGD back to the macro play. Push mid, push mid!
Ult West, shove him back. He was trying to bring up the Edge of Night, but that did not get up in time. Gimgoon coming in for the flank. He'll jump right onto him, the Hextech ultimatum. He jumps backwards though, so Gimgoon's a little overextended, and that forces him to flash away. That was a really nice flash from him.
And Imp standing strong again, knowing how strong he is on that Caitlyn. Not really phased by the Camille. Yes, he pulls the trigger on the flash, but it was also kind of the threat from Jin there. Ultimately, though, Republic gets tower, but it's traded for inner mid.
Brute force down from LGD here. GT could not contest without Republic, so he'll be going back to base. And Imp will take away blue buff as they look towards Dragon now, which will be their third of the game. So LGD, business as usual. They're going through the motions, which is what we want to see from them.
I feel like there's kind of these points in games, though, where I don't know if Imp takes the reins, but it visually looks like Imp does.
He's the first one to the objective. He's the first, like, he's leading everyone around.
He's literally standing in the front sometimes. You know, you go back to that classic when he was sniped off by the Jin ultimate. But again, watching those things, it's kind of like, just stand in front of me. Just tank the shots. Just brute force it. So I think Imp is definitely starting to be the guy to watch on this Caitlyn, especially as she ticks out of her mid-game power drop towards that late-game power spike.
Imp is sitting in mid lane right now. He'll, once again, ace and hole West. I think he was still a little bit wounded from that last one. Funny, into the top lane once more. We're just playing a slower game. Don't let GT somehow just get... I say slower, but they're just going to pull the trigger onto Baron. Okay, well, GT around the top side. Gimgoon's heading back to base. Yeah, back away from that one. Not necessarily sure that was a great call.
But Gimgoon, he canceled his back, so he wanted to go for the home guards because they were looking for the 5v5. Again, Ryze doesn't have Realm Warp, but as soon as they see that LG pulled off Baron, Gimgoon again applies pressure on this bottom tower, and it's just going to be this game of cat and mouse. You know, Gimgoon's back looking for the 5v5. It forces Funny to respond to the crashing wave because he doesn't see the Camille, doesn't know if she's just standing off to the side.
So I was just going to say, is it smart to send Funny down there? Why not send Godfrey? Well, actually, Funny cancels his TP, and Godfrey goes down. So they realized that actually just send Godfrey right now. He's not as big as the Renekton in terms of these team fights and the amount of combat power that he provides. So they'll keep him around there. Import, pick up this red buff, as he is in Fog of War, and GT all centralized around the Baron. Gimgoon has essentially given up his bot lane, pushing pressure, and has rejoined the team. I feel like maybe he could have just stayed down there, pulling the trigger a little bit too early, so misreading the situation just a little.
It also could be the communication that we want to move into the Baron pit and contest the vision. They didn't end up doing that, but they technically could have. Imp was on the red buff. Echo was down bottom, clearing up the mid lane, so they had numbers advantage. Gimgoon, though.
Don't do it, Godby. 3 of those deaths, all from solo expeditions. He's
looking for something bigger. I just want a checklist from Godby about all of the players in the LPL he tries to 1v1 and how successful he actually is at it.
It's true, actually. I feel like it's a negative win record, honestly. Finny clearing up this ward. GT setting up this push, but kind of revealed by the fact they were taking Raptors.
Godby is still over to the side, and again, Imp's in front.
Yeah, Republic taken down to half. He'll go into Zhonya's. I don't think that was the right thing to do here. He'll have to use his flash, and he does manage to take down his target. West goes down. Republic forced to back away. He's taken out by Imp as well. And LGD are running down GT. Gimgoon has to back away, and El Brute forced the middle lane.
And they create this cute trap where Godby's just sitting off to the side, just looking for his target. Unfortunately for West, it is him. Deletes the Jin in the back, resets with his ultimate, gets multiple burst damage, and then Imp just really cleans up the rest.
And while he may have been 0-3 on his attempts this game, that one definitely worked. And a bit of that was set up from Republic just walking into a trap.
Yeah, also the fact that West flashes into the stun there. Comes back, like you said, Republic in the trap, he eats a lot of the burst damage, and then the Renekton and the Caitlyn are just able to chase down, chip out the health, and ultimately get the tower.
Thought of that, to be fair, was from Godby off the back of him. LGD are in the pit, but GT is contesting as well. This is going to come down to the wire. Amy is dead. We're looking for this fight, but there's no junglers alive. Who's going to pick up the Baron? It's so low. 400 health remaining, and Renekton collects the Baron. LGD are so low, but Savoki is the only one alive in range to deal damage. And LGD, it was messy. It wasn't pretty. Call of the Void, not quite enough to finish off PYL. But LGD get the Baron.
Do you ever feel like teams never learn from their mistakes because they're never punished for the terrible choices that they make?
Can you imagine if GT picked up that Baron right there, what that would have done to the game? Luckily, LGD do pick it up and maintain their advantage.
And they didn't need to. They had the super creep advantage in the mid lane.
Yep.
Could have just been patient, could have just waited.
Completely unnecessary, and yeah, that's a play that shouldn't have worked out and should have been punished.
So scary too,
not.
Because Jin's ultimate.
Yeah, Jin's ultimate was a thing. They had shoved out all the other damage dealers though, like only Savoki was nearby to hit it, and Funny was body blocking, so in reality it wasn't too bad, but just not having a smite just is, yeah, it's really scary.
But they did get the Baron. They're on the front foot. They're now looking to siege up. The rest of the team needs to get behind them, however. They don't see that Graves and Echo aren't there, but that was technically Imp, again, just kind of leading the charge on Caitlyn. Like, come on, guys. Let's get it together.
We have the Baron. Let's go. Yes, it was messy, but we have it right now. And if we ignore the fact that it was a sloppy play, we still have it. We can still push this bottom lane, and we can still close out this game. Bring it to a game 3. LGD, play it slow. Push in the lane. Wait for mid lane. Play it slow. Siege within.
They've got their tools this time, though. There is a ward placed behind them.
Okay, we're going to try and push them back. Funny's taking a lot of damage on the front lines. Remember, he still has Guardian Angel, so it's not too bad. They clear out the wave, but they will not have West ultimate for the next one. Republic tries to step up, clear out some of the minions, and Godfrey is low, so I think he will back to base. Yes, he will. Funny will do the same, but he has TP.
Godby does have his ultimate, so he doesn't necessarily have to TP, although he's choosing to, so wants that ultimate for battle purposes rather than just using Echo's ult to reposition himself.
Tower goes down, and GT will back away. Will have to be on wave clear duty. LGD, they are looking for more. They have played it slow. They have a lot of minions pushing in. Those Nexus turrets are falling very quickly. Funny is on the front line. Savoki doesn't get anything done right now. Imp gets launched on by Gimgoom. There's not enough damage. He goes down. So does Zhao Yu. PYL backing away. And this is the fight that LGD were looking for all along. They've run down GT. And finally, all of the advantages